The Antalya International Film Festival has wrapped up for another year. We'll be taking a look at the big winners in a moment, but first, Showcases Miranda Atty brings us this special report on the festival's new gastronomy section, Cinema and Cuisine.
Antalya's cinema and cuisine concept involved two of the very finest things: films and food. Over 4 days, a different movie is screened each night, and a chef is invited to prepare a meal inspired by what's on screen. Each event is hosted in the Mehmet 7 restaurant.
At first I wasn't sure if it's a good idea to combine food and cinema, but it turned out to be a great project. It's a great pleasure for everyone.
Today, the film being screened is Luis Gonzalez's travelogue, The Turkish Way. We head to the kitchen, where Chef Eyüp Kemal Sevinç is keeping an eye on a complicated array of dishes.
This movie shows us that Anatolia is very rich about the foods and food culture. It's very huge demanding of variety foods and very historical. For this, we prepare a special Anatolian cuisine. Our menu concept is Anatolian food. We cook traditional way, but we serve innovative. We put some innovations inside as well.
The menu includes red basil, chickpea and bulgur soup, eggplant, lamb tender and quince dessert. All are Anatolian specialities.
Super. Çok teşekkürler. Amazing. It's somehow wonderfully appropriate that the cuisine and cinema section is taking place here in Antalya. It's a city that's known for its food. And the film that we've just watched about Spanish chef brothers coming to Turkey to find out more about the cuisine is really represented in the food here tonight. It's absolutely beautiful. Fresh produce, traditional recipes, and to be honest, all of it's totally delicious.
Screening alongside The Turkish Way are Michael Winterbottom's food comedy The Trip to Spain, Anthony Bourdain's Wasted, looking at the issue of food waste, and Ants on a Shrimp, about one Copenhagen chef's efforts to open a restaurant in Tokyo. All of the films, and the food served after, have been chosen to stir debate and inspire the palate. Miranda Atty, TRT World, Antalya.
And Miranda's back from Antalya and joins me in the studio for more. Miranda, there's nothing better than watching a great movie and enjoying a perfect meal. How is it experiencing that?
Well, like you, I'm a huge foodie, so it really was pretty divine, to be honest. This isn't actually that new a concept for some of the larger international film festivals. For example, the Berlinale in Germany. Culinary cinema is something that it's very well known for, but it really offers something different when you're watching a movie to kind of afterwards have this experience where the chef has made something designed by what you've just seen. And it's also very much a great way for people to discuss what they've seen over food. And so for me, the whole concept really was probably my favourite part of the entire film festival.
Well, during the weekend, they wrapped it up with a very star-studded awards ceremony. Tell me about the films that took home the big prize.
Absolutely. So this year there's 10 films in competition for 7 awards, as we know. And the big winner was Angels Wear White, which is a Chinese movie by Vivian Q. Now this won both Best Director, which is sorry, it didn't win Best Director, it won Best Film, which is probably obviously the most coveted prize, and it also won Best Actress. And this movie is quite controversial. It's actually about sexual assault, so it's very topical as well. And on the other side, the other film that also did really well and actually did take Best Director is an Iranian movie by Mohammad Rasulov, which is called A Man with Integrity, and that also won Best Actor. So it was really these two films that pretty much swept the board.
Well, sounds good. the cuisine section wasn't the only new thing this year. There was a rather controversial change that happened in this year's edition, and it was merging the national and international competitions. Usually, up until this year, there was a whole separate section for Turkish films. What has been the impact of this on the festival itself?
Yes, this has really been kind of the main talking point for a lot of people because, as you said, up until now there was two separate competitions. Now, a lot of people in kind of the Turkish film industry actually decided to start their own national competition, which was held here in Istanbul a little while ago. But the artistic director, Mike Downey, said that what he really wanted to do was raise the level of the film festival to compete with international festivals like Cannes, like the Berlinale. So he wanted to kind of merge the two, make it more international, but obviously still have some Turkish films, and we did see a couple of Turkish films being screened and that were in the competition. But as I mentioned, this was something that came up, all the conversations that we had, people were talking about it, but the turnout was still very good, and I think that there was a really broad range of films being discussed.
Okay, so the new artistic director, as you mentioned, Mike Downey, made it very clear that gender equality was very important in the festival. In what way did Antalya centralize the experience of women?
Yes, absolutely. Mike Downey was very, very clear on this point, and there's two ways really that the film festival pushed forward gender equality. One is behind the camera and one is in front of the camera. So we saw, like I said, the winning film was about the experience of a 15-year-old woman who's caught up in an investigation about sexual assault. It's really centred on her experience. The same with one of the Turkish films, The Guest. It was really all about female refugees. Ugly Duckling, another Turkish film, was about one woman's experience. But as well as that, and I think probably the way that the Antalya Film Festival really has raised the game is 50-50 split between male and female directors, which even in this day and age is incredibly unusual.
Thanks for a great review there, Miranda. You can watch other highlights from the Antalya Film Festival on our YouTube channel.